Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today in this video we're taking a look at this Amazon Basics USB speaker for computer. I got this for about 1000 Indian rupees. That's about 14 US dollars. As you can see on top of the box, it does say Amazon Basic and speaker. As usual, a very simple recyclable packaging from Amazon Basics. So without any further delay, let's just take a look at what we get inside the box. So first, when you open the box, you get to see the speaker themselves, and they look quite smaller compared to the pictures online. So let me just take the content of the box out. So it looks like there is the wires, your two speakers, and that's pretty much what you get inside the box. Let me keep the speaker here and let me open this pamphlet. So this is basically a simple specification guide and some instruction about the speaker itself, and as you can see, this is the speakers that we bought. So let me keep all these things aside and take a look at the speaker themselves. Alright, so now when the speakers are out, you can clearly see that the speakers look a little smaller than what they look in the pictures online. Anyways, while holding the speakers in my hand, I can feel and sense that the quality of these speakers are really good. They are very well made. There is no finishing problems. They are very well finished and they look really premium. While holding the speakers in my hand, I can feel there is a weight to them, so they are not very lightweight. At the base you will find this metal plate, which also gives this some weight and premium look. On top of the metal base you will find this acrylic glued, which also helps in diffusion of the LEDs, because these speakers does come with LEDs. And on top you will find the Amazon Basics branding. If you take a look at one of the speakers, you will see that this is rated for 5 volt 1 ampere. So you can run this pretty much with any computer using a USB cable, and because it takes USB, you can power these speakers using any power bank, and because they take very less power, you can power this for a very long time by using any power bank. So that's a plus point. The connectivity is also very easy. It comes with a 3.5mm audio jack, so you can connect this in a laptop, a mobile phone, any computer possible. So this also makes it much more versatile. Here is your inline controller, which doesn't have a lot of things. It's only got this Amazon Basics branding and your volume increase and decrease button. So this is your normal potentiometer, so you can decrease the volume as well as increase the volume. So there is that. Overall, the build quality of every component feels really good. So this is the USB cable. So let me open the auxiliary cable as well, and let us measure the length of each cable. So that would give you an idea how far you can place these if you want to use them with your computer or something else. Now one thing, because I've mentioned computer here, these are meant to be used with computers, but look at them. They don't look like your typical computer speakers. They look really well made and really good. I mean, if you've got a really fancy house, you can pretty much put them anywhere and they would still look good in your fancy household. So there is that. The bottom 4 pegs that you see are also rubberized, so this will not slip around. This is not metal. This is a little bit of rubberized texture to them, so this will not slip from anywhere. So starting from the USB cable, let me just measure the USB cable first, and then we'll measure the rest of the cables. Alright, so I've got a tape measure here. Starting from the USB, the main USB cable that come with these speakers is coming out to be 3 feet long, almost a meter long cable from the USB end to the inline controller. So this is the length of the cable, USB cable that you are getting with these. Let me also measure the length of the auxiliary cable. So starting from here all the way to the end, you will see that this is also about 3 feet or almost 1 meter long. So both the USB and the auxiliary cables are 1 meter long. And finally, let us measure the length of each of the speakers that you've got. So let me open the speakers as well. And while holding the wire of the speakers, the speaker wire is also decent quality. A very thick plastic to that, so you're not going to break this easily. So let me measure the length of the wire starting from the inline controller to one of the speakers. So let me put it here. Let me put the speaker here. Bringing my tape measure. So again, you can see that this is also almost reaching about 3 feet, a little less than 3 feet. So there is that. So you are getting pretty much a lot of cable with this setup, and this is very simple to use. You don't need any fancy adapters or what. You simply need to plug this inside your computer or your mobile phone, and then you need to power this either using a power bank. You can also use a normal charger, phone charger that you have, or you can simply plug this inside your computer if you have a spare USB port on your laptop or your computer. So that's pretty much what you get inside the box. Let me show you how they look when you power them on. Alright, so I've got a small power bank here, so let me just plug them in and see how much power they take while not producing any sound. So let me just plug them in. So as you can see, I've plugged them in, and while idle, they're not taking any power, barely any power, because my power bank is not even mentioning any current there. So as you can see, this is a very mellow LEDs that you get there. So let me turn off the light and show you how they look. So let me put this here and put this there, and let me turn off the light. So as you can see, this is how it looks. We'll also put some video of them in the night, but this is how they look when there is not much light around. Also, the diffusion of the LEDs is also very nice. It's not choppy. The light is even all around the speaker, which gives it a very good look. So there is that. A lot of money probably went into the materials and building this speaker and making sure everything looks good. So overall, I'm very happy with the build quality and how the speaker looks. So let me just plug them in a computer and see how they perform. Alright guys, so I've connected these speakers to my computer and they are on top of my desk. So you can see this is how they will look on your desk. As you can see, they look much better than your typical computer speakers that we normally buy. So I'm gonna play some non-copyrighted music, so you'll get an idea how they will sound when you play some music through them. So let me just play some music. And by the way, this is the maximum volume.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go.
So this is how that music sounded on these speakers. As you can see, the sound is pretty good. Alright guys, so now I'm going to play the Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Let's see how that sounds on these Amazon Basics speakers. So that's how that sounded on these speakers. Now let me listen to a couple of more music and videos, and then I'll come back and tell you my complete thoughts on it. Alright then guys, so I have been using these speakers for more than a week now. It's been like 10 or 15 days, and during that span of time I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I completed the Jacksepticeye God of War Ragnarok series. I've watched the whole series on these speakers and everything sounded really good.
And welcome to Dad of Boy Ragnarok. I'm legitimately nervous for this series because the last time I did this game, the previous one in 2018, it turned into one of the biggest series that I've ever done on my channel, and I didn't expect it. So first of all, thank you to anyone who watched that one. I am so incredibly...
The dialogues, the background score, the sound of the voice of Jacksepticeye was really crisp. I was able to make out everything that he was saying and everything that was happening in the game. I also watched a lot of movies of different genres, be it horror, thriller, action and animation as well, and everything sounded really well except when there were scenes where the characters are almost whispering, and it's not a problem with these speakers specifically. It is this problem with probably the filmmakers and the way they are mastering and mixing their audios. It's very difficult sometimes to make out what the characters are speaking in some movies when they are whispering and when their voice is very full of bass, and all of a sudden, so what you do, you probably increase the volume all the way up just to be able to make out what the characters are saying, and all of a sudden there comes an action scene and you're completely blown away by the loud noise. It's not just the speakers, there are many speakers available online or offline, and you find that problem with most of the speakers. So I come to think that it is not really the problem of speakers, probably the way they are making their sounds. The movie people are recording their sounds, so the audio of the whispering dialogues needs to be a little crisp in some movies. Anyways, now that was the audio test of these speakers. Now when it comes to sound, disclaimer here, so when it comes to sound, it is subjective. My experience may not necessarily be relatable to you, because every one of us has different hearing capability. Our taste in music is also different, and also both our ears are differently tuned to different sounds. So overall, I find these speakers really good. Now for the price, there is one thing I am missing in these, is that an headphone jack. Now because I live in a very noisy environment, having speakers is not a very good idea, because speakers are not good for insulating you away from the outside world. So if you live in a very noisy environment, speakers are not something that you should look at. You should probably invest in a decent pair of headphones. So that's my first problem here. They do not come with a headphone out. I really need a headphone out because I live in a very noisy environment. Probably all my neighbors are playing different songs at different times of the day. So to be able to comprehend what is happening when I'm watching a video or watching a movie, I need headphones. So when I'm using these speakers, and if I want to use my headphone, for what I do, I need to remove these first from my computer, and then I plug my headphones in. So again, if I want to use the speakers, I remove the headphone and then plug the speakers in. So if there was a headphone jack on these speakers, I would not need to remove and insert the audio jack at the back of my computer again. So that's my first problem with these speakers. Now when it comes to bass, the bass is lacking sometimes, and you have to give it to them, because these are not very big speakers. These are just 5 watts, and they probably do not even make use of all the power that they are rated at. So they are mostly running at 2 watts max probably. And also I forgot to mention in the beginning, as you can see at the base, there are some radiators, and they also help to produce a little bit of bass when watching movies and listening to music. So there is a little bit of bass. If you're watching something, you get a full sound, but if there are some songs in which you inherently want a little more bass, and that's when you feel that okay, there is not much bass. But you have to understand that these are very small speakers and not very powerful, so you also have to keep that in mind. So personally, if I were to sum up these speakers in a single word or a single sentence, then I would say that these are a really good pair of personal computer speakers. They are not very loud, so if you're planning to put them in a really big hall, you would find that the sound is lacking a little bit. So if you're looking for loudness at this price point, you should probably look at something else, because these are just 5 watts, so these are not very loud. So if loudness is your preference, you should probably skip them. But if you want to enjoy sound with proximity, and if you want really good sound sitting next to your computer, or probably in a single room, decently sized big room, then you can probably take a look at these speakers. So overall, I would give these speakers about 8 out of 10, and I'm taking 2 marks because of the price. The price is a little expensive for what they are, but look at them. I think most of the money probably went in making sure that these looks very different from all these speakers that are available in the market. They look exceptionally better. The build quality is also really good. They have a really good heft to them, If you give this to somebody else and if they hold them in their hand, they won't be able to tell that if these are cheap speakers or not. So they really feel good quality speakers, very well made. And the other thing is the headphone. If they had given a headphone jack on these speakers, I would have given these speakers completely full marks. And also in the beginning I thought the blue light would be really distracting, but it is not actually. But I still prefer there was a way to turn these off. Apparently there is not, so there is that. So I think that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you find this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.